Well, collectors, here we are once again, the 23rd of July, and we're at the great SOS show in Louisville, Kentucky. We're just finishing up some coffee here at the hotel, and then we're going to go over to the show and see if we can do some business, and we'll go around and we'll talk to some dealers, see what's going on, and try to give you a good feel of what you missed, so maybe you can come next year. This SOS show, it's 2,000 tables. It's the biggest all-military show in the world. So if you can get to it sometime, it'll be worth your while, and if nothing else, you'll meet a lot of nice people. So we'll see you when we get over to the convention center, and hopefully we'll have some stuff that interests you. Well, collectors, we just came into the show this morning here, and we thought we would show you some things here. You may know the name Ronnie Towns. He's been a hunting, forestry, shooting collector for years, and he's got just a wonderful display here. Great painting of Herman there with his hunting outfit. He's got a falcon on his wrist, and got some beautiful things here. The forestry daggers just all lined up. The seniors, the subordinates, just really great stuff. He's been collecting this stuff his whole life. Here's a nice sleeve badge. And he's got a choice uniform here with the hunting insignia on the side. I don't know whether you can see that. Deutsche Jägerschaft. Beautiful. Some nice items here. This is a very rare flag that he uses to display with too. A great shot of Herman here with an antler frame. And then if we look in the next cabinet, he's got some wonderful deluxe hunting cutlasses. This is a nice acorn piece, and with a senior knot on it. That's something you'll almost never see, and a piece like that today is probably worth about $7,000-8,000, something like that. Here's Ritter von Epp with his outfit on. Anybody that was anybody was in the hunting association in those days. It was kind of like what today's country club would be. Not an easy thing to get into. Here's a rare piece too, a Luftwaffe forestry bayonet. Some more just tremendous hunting pieces. Where's Ronnie?
He's walking.
Okay.
He's been collecting this stuff for 56 years. We've been married for
She says that Ronnie's been collecting 56 years. That's probably longer than most of you guys are old.
That's how long we've been married.
That's great.
We started collecting when.
Well, I'm glad you're sticking with it. A lot of wives would say, I've had enough of this. Well, good for you.
There's some more information about our hunting.
Oh, that's
Where
great.
we got it.
That's really good. See, Ronnie went through the trouble here to make a brochure up on his display and information about Herman, and up there you get a fly on it for free, no extra charge.
And there's a postcard that has the painting in Berlin in 1937.
Yeah. 1937? Yeah. Wow. No, it's a...
It's right in the center here.
Oh, I see, yeah. Beautiful things. And the Jägermeister painting is dated 1937. Okay, so there you go. That's just a taste of some of the first things, and we'll show you lots more. Okay. Well, here we are. We're at the Wittmann stand here at the SOS show, and this short fella here, you guys probably recognize. This is the famous Wayne Tecket. And you'll recognize that name because this man is the one that established etched bayonet collecting. Nobody knew what was real, what was not real, and Wayne tackled this thing about 20 years ago and wrote a fabulous book. And guess what, Wayne? Give us an announcement.
We're going to have another book coming out. It'll be an addendum. It won't be 256 pages long, but it will have 6 chapters on reproductions, on displays, how to display your collections, staghorn grip, etched bayonets and what they meant and how they were produced. And there'll be 6 chapters in there, and I think that the etched dress bayonet collector will appreciate.
Oh, there's no question.
What we'll have.
How far away are we before the book comes out?
Well, I'm only working.
Or?
Oh, it'll be sooner than a year.
Oh, that's great then.
Yeah, I've only got 2 chapters to go, but they're the longest ones. And reproductions takes an awful lot of that.
Listen to this, collectors. It's a good time to buy etched bayonets. The market has been down a little bit the last few years.
Yes.
And etched bayonets are really cheap. Now when this next book comes out, it's going to revive the whole market again. Take my word for it.
But what is interesting is, at this show where you have 2,200 tables, I can't find any really good ones. I know you found one, but I'm telling you, I can't find anything to help the collecting community along.
Nothing that
there is nothing that great out there.
Yesterday I bought a nice class bayonet. I love class etched bayonets, but and the only reason I love them and the only reason I know what they are is from this guy. Well, it's always good to see you, and we really wish you well.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Have a good show. Thank you. Yes, sir. We're here getting set up, and Mr. Tyler Stark here just came over, and he handed me a sock. I told you before, we see a lot of socks in this business, and inside of the sock is we see a lovely untouched dagger here. Just look at the patina on that, the nice anodizing, the 3-piece hanger. Can we look inside?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look inside without breaking the leather. You got to be very careful with these. Looks like a pack to me, but we'll see. Wow, look at that blade. Really nice. It is a pack. Boy, I'm good, I'm telling you. It's a very nice dagger. The only thing I see here that could be a little problem, this blade looks like it might be re-tipped.
Okay.
What we can do is compare it with another dagger and we'll see.
Yes, sir.
But the blade is just absolutely.
Thank you.
What else do you have?
I have another dagger that I got from a gentleman, but it's in a little rough condition. It's a, I believe it's a Luftwaffe dagger, and the handle on it is
$106,000
busted. I got it from him, and he didn't want much for it, so I told him, I said, I'll go ahead and get it from you. And the hangers, like I said, it's in a little rough condition.
Well, that's all right. You know, you just want to get started.
Yes, sir.
You can improve the pieces as the years go by and upgrade them, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hold on to this a second. And,
Yes, sir.
Well, see what you got here, collectors. This dagger's not in good condition, and it has an Army pommel with an Army grip, an Army ferrule, and a Luftwaffe crossguard, and of course a Luftwaffe scabbard, and the hangers. Let's see what the blade looks like on it. Yeah, the blade's kind of rusty too, but you know, you can say, I don't want a dagger like that. But you know what? It's a place to start.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you can maybe always find somebody to trade this to on another one that's in better condition. And
Yes,
as
sir.
years go by, you know, before you know it, you'll be an advanced collector.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you showing me that.
Thank you. I appreciate you looking at it for me.
No, I'm glad to. I'm glad that you're doing it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
If I can help you again, let me know.
Yes, sir. Thank you again.
Yes, sir.
You have a wonderful show.
Thank you. Well, as our custom is with videos, we like to show you some of the things that we have at our table, and maybe we can start right here. We have a A terrific SS M40 tunic, Stormfuhrer rank. Look at the beautiful work in the bullion here. Beautiful sewn-in shoulder boards, and he's got a Russian ribbon, 4-pocket type. Really, really nice. And if you see there, there's even a dagger hanger inside there. You can just imagine that's where that chained SS was swinging when this tunic was worn. It's in absolute perfect condition, no mothing. Very rare tunic to find today, and it's got loops for 3 medals on it. So that's something that we just got this week, and it's really, really great. Yeah, that SS Eagle. Look at the beautiful bullion work in that Eagle. So we're really happy to have this 100% original. Great thing. And we'll show you some other things we have here. This is the SS sword that belonged to Julius Schaub. Everybody knows Schaub was kind of Hitler's shadow. Just imagine all the places this sword has been. And some other beautiful swords. I think we may have showed you this in the past. We think it's a tobacco tin. Was given to Hermann Goering by Henkel, the man that had the Henkel Airlines, made the HE 111s. It's got Ernst Henkel's facsimile signature on it with all the airplanes that he made around it, and the top is a beautiful, beautiful amber stone, all cut and all, and just a wonderful thing. And we've got some nice Alec. Beautiful stuff. And this is a champagne bucket that belonged to Kaiser Wilhelm. It has his Kaiser cipher on it. All silver, beautiful. And some gravity knives. RLBs. And a nice selection of RADs, DLVs, a couple navies. These Navy daggers here, most of them are all Imperial vintage, and a lot of them have Damascus blades. Very, very beautiful. And then we picked this pole top up yesterday. I love these pole tops for the Farm Bureau, you know. That's the weed in the sword. They're really spectacular. Great to display with your collection. Same on both sides. So that's kind of a cool thing. And more daggers. Lots of interesting stuff here. Plaque we showed you before, and this champagne bucket presented to an SA general. This symbol on it is so cool, the way it's applied to the silver. And then this beautiful box, it was made for Hitler's 50th birthday in 1939. Wonderful eagle on it. And a nice desk piece here. Beautiful spiked helmet mounted on a piece of marble. Nice array of hunting things. I love this particular piece. The scabbard is pig skin. Very, very beautiful, in tremendous condition. And the skinner that goes with it is Damascus. And that fits right into this this little slot here. See? And then the cutlass itself is all Damascus in mint condition. And this cutlass comes from Saxony. And that all fits in here, and there you go. Now if you're looking for something really, really good, this is an investment quality piece, probably made about 1900, and it's in mint condition still. An amazing thing. We've got lots of other nice hunting forestry things, interesting daggers. Have a great RAD here, never cleaned, and that's with the original hanger. And look how long the hanger is. It's a bullet style hanger, but look how long the belt loop is. This thing must have been knocking at the guy's knees, it's so long. And it's got his monogram on the ferrule too. It's really a nice untouched piece. I love when I see stuff like that, don't you? And I picked this up yesterday. It's a naval dagger produced by Luna Schloss. We don't see many Luna Schlosses. And it's in mint condition, beautiful etched blade. So whenever you see a rare maker like that, it's usually a premium piece, especially if it's in good condition. And we got some more stuff here, more nice daggers, chained NSKKs and Tino Hewers, some rare SAs. I got a crazy Luftwaffe dagger here. Did we ever show you that one? I don't know whether we did or not, but this is really something, this dagger. Look at the color of the grip on it. It's so dark, it's almost red. And a beautiful blade, beautiful scabbard. But what you want to see on it, which is really something, the original owner, he must have been a real show-off. He had little tiny diamonds put into the pommel swastikas, little tiny diamonds in the swastika on the crossguard, and even has a little ruby in the eye. You know, it's like times today, you know, there's a lot of people that want to have showy stuff. It's like that watch that you'll see that's got the fantastic outside and the inside of it is very average. So that's how people are sometimes. Everybody wants to be a little better than they are sometimes, I think. So this is something that I think is very interesting, and also the dagger's made by Luna Schloss too. Pretty cool thing. See what else we got here. Italian pieces. This is a very rare pennant. It comes from the time when Goering was in charge in Prussia early on in 1935. He was the Prussian minister. And a nice Italian piece there. MV, SN, more porcelain, and we have a lot of nice things to look at in these cases. And this is really rare. It's a Hitler Youth Marine cap insignia. It's a really rare insignia. The wreath around it is gold bullion. So you never know what you're going to run into. And we got more stuff down here.
Yep, I got some aviation stuff. What do you want on the O's? Which one? This is a DC-9. That's
some forestry and Red Cross armies, Luftwaffes, and a nice pennant here from a Reichsleiter. Pretty rare thing.
That's out of the sequel. Is it? No.
And then for
The guy who sold it to me.
For you guys that have everything,
He kept it. It said civil.
War Criminals of the 20th Century. So open it up. And who do we have inside? Hermann Goering, complete with Luftwaffe sword, Luger, and even his hat is up there. I know it's a silly thing, but it's fun, isn't it?
If you want this, you know, talk.
What the heck? Well, we just had a nice piece come in here. I'm always thrilled when I see a nice Hitler Youth knife. And you can see it has brown leather. The leather's in terrific condition, and it's got this stamping with the oak leaves that we see a lot of times. And what's nice, when you take the leather off, all of the plating is still on the hilt. And then the best part, whoa, look at that blade, huh? And then there's even better than that, when we turn it over, it's got the name of the person that owned it engraved on the blade. You see that? No? Get it? So that's a nice show buy here. I'm very pleased with that. We'll see what else comes in. Well, here we are. We're talking to Kalen that just came over. He's a new collector that he just told me that the only reason he came to the show, he never knew about it, he saw it on one of our videos. Is that the truth?
That's the truth. I watch videos all the time. You should have way more followers on YouTube.
Well, we have quite a few, but...
You should have more. You should have at least twice as many. You guys are a great channel. I love it.
It'll get there.
It will get there.
It'll
Yeah.
get there,
Yeah.
It's interesting, Kalen is just showing me, for you guys that may not know, this is a Luftwaffe sports shirt, and we sell a lot of sports insignia, and very rarely do you see them on the shirts.
Yeah.
So that's really a nice thing. What's this valued at about?
I got it for $300 with the shorts.
Oh, with the shorts.
Yeah, it has the shorts with it. Yeah, black
that
shorts.
sounds like a bargain to me.
I thought so.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And it's unique, and you know,
Yeah.
I like sportsmanship, so
Yeah,
I
well,
think
that's
it
a
would be a
perfect
cool
thing,
item.
yeah. I like that, and thanks for showing it to us.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for
I'm
your
sure some of
videos.
you collectors will like it too.
yeah.
Yeah. Good luck at the show.
Thank
and
you very
I hope
much.
you find another treasure.
I would love to get a dagger from me. I got an SA dagger from Mr. Kensler yesterday, and I'm looking for an army dagger or something like that. Anything that you think
Lots of
you
nice
suggest?
army daggers down there, yeah.
All right.
Take a look, and I'll give you a bargain if I can.
Appreciate it. It was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Well, collectors, I think you see a familiar face here. This is Mr. John Rommel, and he's been on our videos a few times in the past. And he was telling me in the hotel, somebody came up to him and said, "I know who you are. You're the guy on the Wittmann videos." So you're becoming famous, right, John?
I'm getting my 15 minutes of fame.
Getting 15 minutes, and as usual, John has managed to rustle up some interesting pieces here. We're looking at a couple of really nice early SA daggers, both with brown vertical hangers, and this hanger is really unusual. And what's so great about them, with John, you know that he likes to research people if he possibly can, and you got the opportunity here to do so, right, John? Why are these so cool for you?
Well, one, because I got one with the original vertical hanger, but this guy, I got a good quality blade, but this one he didn't want anybody stealing his blade. He's got his...
Well, what's he do? He's got his initials here.
He's got his name up here.
The name is in the grip.
Yeah, I believe he's got it on one of the
cross guards.
Cross guards up on top, and then he even went so far as to scrawl his last name on the throat, and it's hard to tell.
Can you believe this guy? Wow.
And then the back side, he's got his district Niederrhein, and then his he was in the Pioneer Battalion.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to make sure that nobody took his dagger.
Oh yeah. And then he's got it on the back here too. When I took this off.
Wow.
So it's just a great rig. I'm excited to see if I can find
Think
something.
you'll be able to get something on him?
I think so. I
Yeah,
think there's
pretty
enough
good.
with the name and where his district was.
And what do we got on this one?
This one is another nice blade. It's a Wusthof.
Oh yeah, Ed Wusthof, yeah.
And then I've got his full name, Max Ferrer.
That's on the bottom of the cross guard.
And then he was at a Hessen district. And then
What district?
Hessen.
Hessen,
Hessen.
okay. Yep.
And then it's kind of hard to make out, but it's got his Standard and Brigade marked on here. So I'm hoping with that I've got enough to.
Well, maybe you can give us a report on him the next time we see you.
The problem is with COVID, most of the facilities are still closed.
Yeah, it's a shame. Oh well. You get anything else, John?
I got one other thing.
Oh, what do you got here?
This one I used to own, and I kicked myself in the butt for letting it go.
Uh-oh.
And I got it back last night, and this one.
What is it? Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Look at the condition of this. And the tiger stripes in the grip. And the original rope hanger. You know how rare this is, John? Man.
Like hen's teeth.
Wow, and the condition is just incredible. Can we look at the blade on
Absolutely.
it too? I'm not going to break the spring, am I?
Nope.
I better not, right? Let's see what we got here. What, you ever see such great grip plates?
They're busy right now. Can't have more than one SS.
Well, just as we thought, collectors, the blade is mint, and it's made by SMF. We see a lot of gravity knives by SMF, but I think that's the best one I've ever seen. That is a real killer.
Thank you. I was thrilled to get it back.
Oh yeah. What kind of money you got in that? I'm sure it wasn't cheap.
No, it was
Just curious.
a couple thousand.
Yeah. Well, see, you know, collectors just
I
say,
traded.
how can that be?
I traded a tiger striped SA to get it
You
back.
get it. Yeah, there you
So,
go. You know what it is? You say, oh, I thought gravity knives sell for $800 to $1,000, but this is no longer a gravity knife when it's in this kind of condition. It's just something special. And you can virtually name your price on something like this because the guy that's got to have it, he'll pay for it.
I only
Just like you
wanted
paid to
one,
get it
and
back.
yep, I only wanted one, so I don't need another.
That's a wonderful thing. Boy, you always have some great stuff.
Thank
You're
you.
a lucky man or a hard worker or something. But
I got a four-leaf clover, maybe. I don't know.
You really come up with stuff. So thanks again.
You bet. Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Have a good show.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, I just had to stop and I want to do some interviews, but I just had to show you this sword. This is probably one of the most fantastic imperial swords I've ever seen. It's a huge size, made by Ewald Clip, and look at just the detail in the P guard, and it's a guard sword. You can tell by the guard star, and all the enamel is still in there. And you know, you see a lot of roaring lions on a quillin, but look at the teeth in there. Can the camera see that? I've never ever seen that on a sword before. It's just tremendous. And then if you're thinking, gee, I wonder what the blade looks like. Well, are you ready for this? Zoom. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's old Damascus, and look how the quill back is done on the end and all. Absolute mint condition. Just really, really tremendous. And I'll show you the other side of the blade. As you would expect, it's got a fantastic dedication on it. It's from a a Freiherr. I'm not sure just what all this is. A lot of initials and so forth, but needless to say, it's this is a real prize. I don't think I've ever seen a sword more beautiful. Should be in the Zolligan Museum. Well, we're over here at Gerhard Windbiel's stand, and as usual, Gerhard has some just fantastic things. I love his stuff. This is particularly exciting. It's a beautiful bore. The design is just incredible. Very, very heavy, and it's mounted on a marble base, and it has a presentation on it. And the presentation is from Hermann Goering, given to Martin Bormann in remembrance of their hunt that they did in November of 1937. So this is really quite a historical piece. I doubt whether Goering liked Bormann very much, but due to his influence with the Fuhrer, it was always good to stay in good terms with everybody. So that's quite something. Very beautiful thing. And looking further here, this is quite a fantastic uniform here. I'll get this plastic up. And you may recognize here, this is a picture of Adalbert, who was one of Kaiser Wilhelm's sons, very famous for the Adalbert dagger, which he's wearing. That was in the collecting world a number of years ago, and it's also on the cover of the Imperial book that I did with Tom Johnson. But what's really interesting here is why are you showing us Adalbert's picture? Well, because look what we just happen to have here, Gerhard. Gerhard has the same uniform here that Adalbert was wearing in this picture. And if you don't believe me, there is the tailor label with Adalbert's coat of arms and Prussian crown above it. And if you look at the picture, you can see it's the same with the same trim, and just a wonderful, wonderful original item here that is just incredible. I love Imperial things, and I particularly love Adalbert because I was involved with his dagger many years ago, and so it's really special to me to see something like this. Isn't that wonderful? Just think about it. The son of the Kaiser, the famous Adalbert. And here's Gerhard with his tunic. Thank you, Gerhard. That is really a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that is Adalbert's.
Yeah, this is also goes in with the uniform. This is what you call a guest book. Years ago, and even today, some people, when you visit their home, before you get into the door, they want you to sign a guest book, and that way they have a record of your visit. On the way out. Also, yes.
You say it was wonderful. You visit.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Thank you. And so what we have here is the book that Adalbert maintained.
With a list of
his
wife.
Yeah, there we go.
That's Saxon, the princess.
That's embossed right into the leather cover, and if you look in here, it's just amazing. There's literally hundreds of signatures in here of very, very important people during the imperial times. Right, Gerhard? Yep. It just is really, really beautiful. See the dates, 1926, 1924. Let's see, we're up to 29.
That way it ends then.
Oh, still in 1931 yet, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you see, in front is all the World War Ones.
Yeah. Previous to World War I.
1917, 15.
So for somebody that is really into imperial royal history, this is a godsend. I mean,
550 signatures.
550 signatures in there. Wow. You know, with Adalbert, he did survive World War II, but he was a...
How much are your reenactors?
He was an anti-Hitler type, and he became very discouraged after the war, and Adalbert sold many of his things after the war, including that dagger that was around. So these kind of things may eventually go back to that time. Just as an interesting side story, I remember the Adalbert dagger was consigned to Hermann Historica a number of years ago, and the family, the royal family that lives today, said that is our dagger and we want it back. Well, the person that owned it found records that proved that Adalbert sold that dagger after the war, so the police gave him the dagger back, thank goodness. But so you got to be a little careful when you're buying things that belong to people, because maybe you really don't have title to them. So you got to be a little careful with that. But this is an amazing grouping. Could I see you had an album with Blumberg and Hitler? Do you have that?
I do.
I find this very interesting.
Over here is AH here.
AH, and you say, well, what's Hitler doing with an album like this? Well, what it is, before we open it, you collectors have heard of Blumberg. He was the highest field marshal in Germany at the time. He wasn't really a good friend of Hitler's, but they had to put up with each other until eventually, as you know, Hitler sacked him when he married a woman of ill repute. But what they did here, Blumberg came to see Hitler at Berchtesgaden.
It is the Obersalzberg.
In the Obersalzberg. So they made an album here. Ex Libris is from Hitler's library. And you can see the picture of Obersalzberg with the Wartburg mountain in the back, and then when it starts out, believe it or not, this guy with the knickers on is Field Marshal Werner von Blumberg in casual clothes and talking to Hitler. And you see it here with the and these kind of photographs, they document the visit, but they're not something that Hitler would want published because they're too informal. Would you say that? Yeah. So it's a whole album. I just wonder if it maybe wasn't even made for Blumberg.
No, that was for Hitler, that one.
You sure it was for Hitler? And
yeah,
so
that's
Hitler
why it was in Hitler's...
Oh, because it has the Ex Libris, yeah. That's true,
and
you're right.
I'm sure Blumberg got a copy too of the photos.
But they did these kind of things with important people to document a visit, you know?
Yeah, and they wandered through the Obersalzberg.
Now they're meeting people that they've on the path, do you think? Or,
and mostly the farmers who lived there, because it was nobody else was allowed up there anymore.
I see. Yeah, they after the SS blocked it all off, and you can see here Hitler. He loved to be shown being so warm to children. And then he probably went back in the office and signed a death warrant for 2,000 people. But here he is with Hitler Youth and other party officials here. I don't know who this smiling guy is, but again, more children. And the way Hitler's standing here with his butt out and so forth, that's not a picture that he would want to be in the newspaper. So it's just it's a very interesting album. It goes on for quite a while. It's something I've never seen before, and it's one of a kind, you know?
Absolutely.
Every picture is an original photograph. These are not copies of photographs. There we are again. I find this interesting. I hope you collectors do too. It's a very, very cool thing. Yeah. So, you had something, Gerhard, that was like a match safe.
Yes.
You still have that? Yep. Can I look at that? All right, we're looking at some more one-of-a-kind real treasures that Gerhard has. You collectors have heard of Marseille. He was probably the most famous of Third Reich pilots, and he won the diamonds, the swords, and just about every award you could win. He was fantastic. He was awarded when he won his diamonds this gold pilot's wings, 18 karat gold with an Italian crown with diamonds, was given to Marseille by Mussolini, and that information is engraved on the reverse of the pin. And then also at the same time, Hermann Goering gave Marseille this beautiful ring with the pilots, 18 karat, and that has some little diamonds in it too, and it's all engraved inside. And then to add some interest to it, Gerhard has Marseille was killed. He bailed out of his plane and he hit the rudder. Is that what happened? Yep. He hit the rudder when he bailed out, and this is his body. At the time, a real shame, and I think he was probably had the most kills of any Luftwaffe pilot
at that time.
At that time, yeah. So this is a very interesting grouping of things here.
He was the star of Africa, you know.
Yeah. So we thought you'd be interested in seeing that stuff too. It's very, very beautiful. So we'll go over and see some other Gerhard things, because these are treasures you'll only see from this man. He's got it all. Okay, well, we can't seem to get away from Gerhard. He found some more treasures here that he wants to show us. This is a Damascus naval dagger that belonged to the famous U-boat captain Werner Henke. His initials are there in gilt, and of course it has an ivory grip, and at the mast blade, and on the other side is the WKC hallmark with the knight head, I believe. My glasses aren't so good anymore, but
the nice big eagle.
Yeah, the eagle is of a larger proportion. That's very interesting. And it would have been made that way. Yeah. Wow. I didn't notice that. Thank you for pointing that out. So there you see something very, very special there. And then here we have a sword that could have been Wilhelm's. It has his cipher and the Prussian crown, and the amount of workmanship is just outrageous on the hilt. If you look at the basket hilt, even the inside is all completely worked, as well as the details throughout the grip. Very, very beautiful. And then as a highlight on the top, there's a Wilhelm cipher. But Gerhard, you say they would use this for wax seal.
That's a wax seal, actually.
It's actually a wax seal. You can see it's cut out. It'd be kind of hard to seal your letter holding a sword.
If you're out in the field, you know, you.
Oh yeah, you could do it.
You put it on a document, you know.
Yeah. So here we have. Most likely the Kaiser's, one of the Kaiser's swords.
It was the Kaiser's,
absolutely,
no
yeah.
question about it.
Yep. How about that? Where are you going to see something like that? And then lastly, Kaiser aside a minute. Sorry, Wilhelm. And you'll see a picture of a familiar SS Obergruppenführer. This is Karl Wolff, who was Himmler's adjutant for many, many years. And what we have here is, it's an autographed photo, but what is also interesting, there is a gold watch fob. Very, very beautiful. High carat by the feel of it.
18 karat.
18 karat, yeah. And there we have Karl Wolff's name in there. It's just a very, very...
And his birthday
Where's the birthday?
on the rim.
Aha, there we are. So it was probably a gift.
It was a gift, yeah,
Yeah.
to him, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great too.
And that is the card from a
Right.
dinner with Mussolini's son, or with Mussolini, one of the two.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. From his Italian.
Yeah. When he was in Italy, when he was transferred to Italy.
But
Yeah.
that is. It is
His title and so forth.
his card and everything,
Yeah.
but and a leather bound.
See this,
Normally,
collectors? It's a Deutschland Airwalk, but have you ever seen a leather-bound one? I never have.
No.
And this was given to Karl Wolff also then, yeah. And it has the same pictures that you've seen for many years, but the fact that the cover is specially made is very interesting. Something you just don't see. Okay, that's all we're going to show you, Gerhard.
It's over.
The Gerhard show here. Looking at more of Gerhard's things, you collectors recognize this gentleman. It's in Goering's special frames that he had made with his Reichsmarschall eagle, and this famous picture. And this one has a original Goering signature on it also. Really a wonderful thing. I have a piece like this in my own collection, so I know how nice it is. And then down a little further here, I love boar's tusk things. This is very, very nice. With it has a Goering coat of arms with the boar's tusk handle, and all crystal ashtray with a silver top. And that's probably something you'd find at Cavern Hall, or maybe even in Berchtesgaden, but very nice. A very rare Aulick award that was made especially for the Waffen-SS. Gerhard thinks that maybe there were 5 or 6 of these that were produced, so it's very rare at Dachau, of course. Anything else here that they would like? What is this, Gerhard?
Hermann Göring.
Hermann Göring also? Oh yeah, there's wow, that's really
And the sugar bowl is also Hermann Göring.
that's also Hermann Göring, yeah. See the coat of arms, how fancy they made them on the they took Goering's coat of arms and schmaltzed it up a lot for a gift to make him feel even more important. More important. Because that's really not Hermann Goering's coat of arms. I mean, the arm and the fist are, but all the schmaltz in the background is
Royal.
yeah. Oh, so Hermann, instead of just another fat German, he's almost imperial in that status. These also have outrageous Goering coats of arms on them. But you could see how that would appeal to a very vain man too. I mean, of course he wanted to be seen like that. Why not?
Yeah, but that is stuff you probably got from people on birthdays and type of stuff.
Yeah, probably birthdays. So, as you can see, there's lots of wonderful things to see here at this show. And we'll go on and we'll talk to some more people too. So thanks a lot.
Well, we're here. I'm sure you collectors remember our old friend Joe Pulcinelli. How are you, Joe?
I'm good, real good.
Yeah, you're looking good.
It's a little sore from a lot of talking, but that's okay.
Well, but you know, if you took enough money in that the conversation created, the herding won't be so bad.
Money comes in, money goes out. It's an endless cycle. Right on, yes.
What do you got in this box? This looks like a silly thing here with a Seitengewehr bag, and what is this Focht Arbeit?
Well,
What is
first
that
of
all about?
You're
I never
looking
heard
at
of it.
a long etched bayonet.
And look at that, collectors.
It's the reverse etch.
Reverse etch. Notice how the eagle has what is usually the background, the frosting is, and look at the plants on the bookends and the inscription. Who would have made something like that?
Well, Tom, as we turn it over, there is no maker mark.
Ah,
so,
shit.
So
We don't
how do
want
we
that.
know?
We don't want that. Why do we want?
Why do we
that?
want that? Because we need to learn.
Yes.
No maker mark. This dagger was produced by Robert Klops for the Richard Herder Company. Now, how can you say that?
I was just going to ask you that,
Okay.
Joe.
Well, this particular etch was only ordered for Richard Herder. Only Richard Herder ordered
So they
this
had an
etch.
exclusive on that.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
So that's why you say, oh, that's why there's a rare Richard Herder control tag on it.
Well, what's this Focht thing here?
Well,
Focht Arbeit. What is
Focht
that?
Arbeit with a Focht Arbeit tag. I hope I pronounced it right. They were.
Yeah, it's a little scary if you mispronounce
They were
it.
a consortium guild of quality control like the RZM. Okay.
But wait a minute, though. The RZM was only for political daggers.
Well,
And
that's correct.
That's why they had this.
That is correct.
That's very interesting.
So in other words, it's very likely or possible that an unmarked blade would go in the Focht Arbeit bag with tag.
Yeah.
And
makes
actually,
sense.
there is a publication called the Klinger.
It's always good if you can prove these
Yeah.
statements.
And
that's it.
if you notice, this is the salesman sample, and maybe we'll get to that later. But what's on there? It's a Focht control
Arbeit,
tag,
yeah.
but it's a VUS
Right.
marked.
Oh, that's it's not a common sword, but I know that's Voos.
That's Voos.
Because they have the eagle here, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go. So what this does, and with a letter from Wayne Tequette, the expert on bayonets, of course, it testifies to all this. So it all flows together. It makes sense. It's not a story.
Yeah.
It's documented. It makes sense.
Well, and Wayne is a top researcher, and I believe that he's done so much for the etch bayonet industry.
He has.
And I'm glad to see him get involved with
Yes.
something like this.
And his word is similar to yours when it comes to SSSA daggers. So there's no.
I don't know about that, but that's great.
What else would you like to see, guys?
Well, let's. I see you got a couple of lousy conditioned Hitler Youth here. Can't you find anything any better than
Yeah, I
this,
know.
Joe? I mean, look at this crap. Boy,
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Again, Tom, we've talked about this. A common knife,
right?
but in an uncommon
In that
condition.
Wow, look at that.
The control tag marked M751
Right.
matches the back, and
Let me
it's
see.
double
Let me
proof.
see it. Hold it up to the camera so they can see that trademark. See that? How it matches right in with the control tag. When you get something like that, it doesn't get any better.
I mean, yes, excellent. But
right.
one more thing that you might have not noticed, look at the runners inside of that scabbard.
The canvas is still 100% on them.
It's like the blade has never been in the scabbard.
For you guys that don't realize it, on these early pieces, they coated the runners with canvas so it wouldn't scratch the blade. Is that correct?
That's correct,
So
yeah.
That's what I always thought anyhow. Beautiful, beautiful.
Can't say anything.
Yeah, beautiful. And what is this piece? I see it's got a brown leather hanger.
It's a brown leather.
Why do you think there was some brown and some black? You think there was anything to that, or just the leather?
I don't think they wasted anything. It was available. They
that's
used
what
it.
they had in stock,
and
yeah.
in the later war, they used plastic. So
yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
This is an early piece as well. It's an interesting piece. It's in very fine condition, but lo and behold,
what's that? Somebody's name on it?
That's
Wow.
the original owner's name, Ernest.
Wow.
Can't pronounce.
Can you get that up? That's real. And oh, it's a Robert Class, is it?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
So
that's
there you
quite a
go.
thing. So there's probably some research potential there.
He could possibly be still alive.
But what condition, huh? That is really a beauty. Wow.
Yeah.
Collectors, when you see these HJ blades where the motto is almost jumping out of the blade, I mean, you may see a little sharpening, but so what? These were kids who
That's
wouldn't
what they
sharpen
did.
their knife. But look at the condition now. You got to just not even see that with HJ knives. Those are cool things. What are these things? Looks like somebody cut the blade off of this?
Sure.
Or
These obviously are salesman samples.
I'm not sure. I think your wife got mad at you and she cut those blades off. And get this stuff out of here, Joe.
It's much easier for a salesman from Zolligan to put 5 or 6 of these in a case as opposed to a full-length sword for sale to the outpost or the garrisons that they wanted to sell to.
This has got a pack tag on it.
No, Puma.
Puma. I'm sorry. So the Puma guy, and this is a picture of.
Yes.
So the Puma salesman was hustling this around.
That's right.
Yeah.
And as you can read here in the textual part, actually, I'm a tag guy.
Yeah.
The Puma tag is much rarer to find than an Eichhorn tag.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
And the other sword, I mean, it's a police daggin. What the hell is this?
This is the same thing. It's a salesman sample.
Yep.
Marked Krebs.
Well,
And I was
made a lot of police.
and I was told this is actually in Tom Johnson's reference book, volume 3, I believe, authored by Skipper Greenway. He got the credit for that.
Well, I think Skipper collected a lot of these salesman samples,
He
so
did.
I'm sure that's a factual statement.
Absolutely. When I get home, I'm going to check it out.
No, I think it's all true. Wow, cool stuff. We're going to talk to Bill Given too. You know, we can't get away from the show without talking to my friend Bill. Do you have anything that we might want to look at?
Perhaps collectors will enjoy.
It's just an SA dagger. Who cares about an SA dagger? Oops, wait a minute. This is something it's really, really great to see on the top scabbard fitting and also the lower scabbard fitting. This is an organization that you may or may not be familiar with, but what do you call it, Bill?
The Feldherrenhalle.
Feldherrenhalle. They were, of course, a special branch of the SA, and they wore SA daggers just like any other SA people. A lot of people think, oh, it's got to be a Feldherrenhalle officer, but the enlisted men wore a regular SA dagger. And to find something like this with that marking is really, really rare.
I was very lucky.
It's also interesting too, there's no Gruppe mark on it, which to my way of thinking that perhaps because it was a special group, they didn't need to be stamping,
Didn't have to go through the gal.
No, it wasn't a gal per se. So you do see that on early essays sometimes. You see it on Rome daggers a lot too, because they were special people, didn't go through the chain.
Kind of went directly from Prince Rome to the recipient and not through like the gal or the gal lighter.
Let's see who made this piece. Oh, it's got a nice blade. Oh, here we go, guys. You guys like this maker. You'll recognize that with the caduceus there, the doctor symbol. That's made by Asculip. Collectors like that Asculip mark. And I think they also varnished their grips.
They did, Tom.
Yep. Oh, that's a great piece. Where the heck did you find that?
Well, I've known about this piece for several years. A friend of mine out in Arkansas, he collects a lot of SA daggers. I finally
Convinced him?
Yeah, well, I finally acquired a piece that he wanted really, really badly.
Oh, that's somehow,
and so I said, it just so happens that we're going to be here at the show, and maybe you could bring that Feldherrenhalle dagger. And so, yes, as with the wonderful thing about this hobby is, you get people put together and have a great time, and people get to look at different things, which makes it really, really nice. So thank you so much for what you do. We enjoy the videos. We enjoy watching everything, getting caught up on everything. Your box openings, they're just phenomenal. You can't,
thank you.
It's like Christmas several times a year.
You know what's very satisfying today at the show, without exaggerating, 30 or 40 young people came up to me and said, "Oh, you're Mr. Wittmann. Oh, can I shake your hand? We thank you so much. I never knew about these shows until I watched your videos, and this is the first show I ever came because of your videos." Can you imagine how satisfying that is?
It's gotta
and
be
that's new people, new blood.
Just for this show today, my son Jason and we brought 2 young men, new collectors, into the hobby. This is their first time at a major show, and they're just blown away.
They liked it.
Yep, it's just we've got to get the young people excited about the history, and so our hobby continues.
That's what has to be done. As you guys know, I mean, of course, Bill's much older than me, you know, we're all getting up there, and there's a lot of knowledge. And these old guys with the white hair and the bald heads, I worry, you know, when we're all kind of out of here, if the young people don't come in and are able to pick up what we have learned over the years, then the hobby will go on. If they don't, it's just metal.
Yep, I'm convinced that it will happen. I'm very optimistic about our hobby. And thank you, Robbie, and thank you, Tom, for taking the time to stop with us.
We always like to see it.
Enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, collectors, today's the last day of the SOS Saturday, and we're trying to do as much video as we can. Maybe this will be a little longer than some of them because there's a lot of stuff here. But as we like to do, our buddy Walter here. How are you, sir?
Very good, Tom. How about yourself?
I'm good, and I love your sign. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. That's you.
That is me, for sure.
Hey, as usual, you got some really interesting things, and
this is my favorite pickup at the show.
Let's see what it is. It's probably hard to see, but you can see there's some SA insignia there and a dedication below. And essentially, what does it say, Walter?
It says, given to the winner by the staff chef.
And the staff chef is?
Ernst Rome.
Ernst Rome. So it was like for a sport contest.
It's an SA honor goblet, basically, is what it amounts to.
It's all silver, too. It's a beautiful thing.
And the date and that is on the back, too. More of it on the back.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I think that is really neat because you never see anything like that SA.
Yeah, that's true. I've never seen anything like it. Pretty interesting.
Yeah. And something I bought that I think is quite significant, what they call a traditional kepi, or traditional coffee can hat. They wore these, of course, right from the beginning.
Yeah.
But then they transitioned to the visor hat. But they issued these out.
When did they transition? About 19?
In the 30s.
35
yeah,
or 30?
35 or something. But it's very much like the visor hat interior.
Wonderful condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be hearing no naysayers on these because it's so nice condition, but that's all the guys that I know that know what they're doing with hats. These are plates that I had sold about 5 years ago to a collector who's trimming down his collection because his health is not so good. This is a Reinhard Heydrich. That's Eva Braun with several Eva Braun pieces. This is also Eva Braun. I don't know if you can pick that up.
I see you got a lot of Axis daggers, Walter.
Yes, yeah. I was lucky. One fella that bought a collection, a large collection. He has like 100 of them.
Yeah.
And I was going to the Allentown show and stopped on the way up from Florida at his place. I think the most significant are the This is an early Russian.
Early Russian, yeah.
Which I have the belt and the hangers for. And a Bulgarian, which probably the only ships they would have had would have been on the Danube. These, of course, Romanians.
I like the Austrian pilot too.
Oh,
that's a beautiful dagger.
Such a rare dagger because only ever used for 2 years, because by the time they had the 36, it's the 36 model.
Yeah, they basically had to turn these in and get a second model Luftwaffe.
First model, right?
No, second model.
In 36, 38?
38.
Yeah, 38.
That's when the second model came out.
And beautiful Zeitner markings.
Yeah, that's another thing. They're all made by Zeitner in Austria, Vienna.
As mint as can be.
Yeah. You know what else is something too? The original knot is something you'll just never see. So that's see the airplane propellers on the scabbard and all. It's quite a good looking piece.
Yeah, most people have never seen one.
No.
You said you had one once, right?
Yeah, I have a couple of them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They also made this model for flak. It has cannons on it instead of the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's neat, Walter.
And one other Austrian piece that you never, ever see is the Austrian Navy.
Yeah, this is... look at the workmanship in this.
And it's obviously German made.
Yeah, I think so. Wow, what a beautiful dagger. All silver and...
beautiful condition.
Yeah.
And it is even... The cool one about this is it's got the date of 1915 Trieste, which was their original...
Oh, I see, yeah. Look at the blade there.
The Austrians had a... their naval base was Trieste, and they lost it after World War I to the Italians. And it's got the double-headed eagle and the Hungarian crest, because it was
Austro-Hungary, yeah.
One guy said, "Oh, that was the Danube flotilla." I said, "No, Trieste was their heart. They had a huge navy at the time."
Oh, that's a wonderful piece. I think that's worth a few pennies.
Yeah, that's why I put a reasonable price on it.
We wanted to give you an idea of the size of this show and the scope. I know you always hear 2,000 tables, but what does 2,000 tables really look like? Robbie's going to give you a pan of the entire hall here, from end to end. It's just unbelievable. So if you haven't gotten to the show this year, think about it for next year, because it's something you really don't want to miss. Well, here we are. We're talking to my old buddy Mike Mason over here. You collectors probably know him. He's been around for 1,000 years. And we start looking at Mike, and then we see this helmet that's bigger than Mike. Look at this thing. It's just fantastic. Never saw anything like it. What could this possibly be, Mike?
As far as we know, it was on a World War I German memorial for the World War I soldiers. And an American PBY pilot.
Where was the memorial, though?
In Kiel, Germany.
Oh, Kiel, okay, yeah.
Kiel. And an American PBY pilot saw it, wanted it, cut it off, put it in his plane, and flew it back to the States. That's the story that goes with it.
Sounds good.
Yes. And also, when it was in his garage, he had it in there for years. He had it turned upside down, was using it to clean auto parts and tools.
Oh, it doesn't look like it hurt it any. He's got a little ding here, but if anything, it gives it some character.
Interesting story.
Well, that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. You can see it's the, what is it, the M17 design? 16 design. Pretty cool, huh?
just in case you really don't get the prospectus or the size of this thing, here's an M16 type helmet, and it looks like a little miniature. Cool. Got some other stuff down here too that Mike has lots of nice daggers, armies, Luftwaffes. He's got some nice chained SS here. A couple other SS.
Mark Tom's.
Who is it, Mark?
Yes, but Mike's doing a fine job. Let's let him continue.
Okay.
All right.
It looks pretty good here. Wow, look at this ammo belt, complete with all the original ammo in it. That's cool. Yes, sir. You see a lot of stuff at a show like this. It's really, it probably takes, I would bet, if you wanted to look at everything, it would take 3 days to get through this place. That's how big it is. 2,000 papers. And boy, at the end of the night, your legs are ready to. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. All right. Well, we're still walking through, and you guys know I really love bronzes. These are pretty nice. You'll recognize the guy in the middle, El Duce. Just really nice work. They're very interesting. This is like a medieval soldier, I guess. And this one on the end, I like a lot. It's actually a sword maker. You can see he's hammering, and he's got a sword hilt here that he's working on. Nice helmet under. He was probably an armor maker, I would think. You know, but nice detail. Really, really nice. Quite a rifle here too. Wow. Got a few extra cost options on it. Oh, we're over here at Joe Stone's table. He's a good guy from Florida, been around a long time, and he's got a rather unusual SS uniform here. Heinrich Peterson, Standartenführer. You don't see those collar tabs very often. That's the Prince Eugen regiment. It's got a nice Prince Eugen cuff title on it. And just kind of interesting. I never saw one before, and I thought you guys might like to see it. Nice sleeve eagle. And the Prince Eugen cuff title. Something you won't see very often. Well, Joe's got quite a bit of stuff here at the show, and there's some nice gorgets here, stuff that you don't see very often. Interesting things, good officers' belt buckles. Got lots of medals, cap insignia.
Neat Volkswagen piece there.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
And that's a wall hanger, not an ashtray. It's a wall hanger.
Yeah. Volkswagen item, is it? And Joe's got a lot of daggers in here, kind of just piled up. Yes, sir. Well, here we're just to show you that we're interested in everything. Here's some very fine U.S. Army uniforms. Very well presented and great condition. I'm sure there's some of you guys out there that collect U.S. stuff, so you'd like to see these once in a while. This is a sergeant here, a tech sergeant. Pretty cool stuff. All right, well, you never know what you're going to see at one of these shows. And look at this man here. He's got his Acme cart here. And look at this thing. It's loaded up with stuff. Is that everything you bought or you're selling?
I'll buy stuff and sell it 2 minutes later.
Oh, I see, yeah.
But I brought all this.
Saving the cost of the table, right?
Yeah, it's a shopping cart special.
Literally.
I already sold something out of it, a Hitler Youth knife.
There you go, that's good. It's very good.
These are Grandeg SS.
Yeah, that's the most interesting table I've seen so far.
Yeah, it seemed to have a lot of interest.
Well, here we are, and guess who we ran into in the corner of this massive place. You guys recognize that handsome face we've been looking at for about 15 years now, haven't we? It's Bill Shea, the famous ruptured duck. And Bill just happens to have a collection here. I assume it's on consignment or whatever.
Yeah.
Some is, some not. Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
And it's you guys know that I like tableware, flatware, and silver pieces in general. And Bill's just got some absolute exquisite stuff here. Deutsches Reichsbahn, Reich Chancellery items, informal AH items, original coasters. It's nice they have the original filler still in the center.
Inserts, yeah.
Yeah, the inserts. There's an AH tablecloth. Really, really rare pieces here. Aspic servers, a cake server, gravy boat ladle. I mean, it's just the stuff that you really don't ever see. So what do you think of all this, Bill? It's probably exciting for you to get a collection like that, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
You know, over the years, I've had opportunities to own a lot of great stuff and purchase a couple of cachets of Eagle's Nest silverware. In two of my books, I write about that. In one of the books, I picked up 120 pieces from one veteran.
I remember that.
Yeah,
that was quite a haul.
Oh, it was a great grouping. And so these items came from a very old collection that I helped build over the course of the last 50 years. And
I believe I know who it is, but I won't say.
That's correct.
Keep their privacy. It was a real nice couple that Bill and I knew for many, many years. And there always comes a time, you know, when, so this is how something to this extent gets put onto the marketplace.
Yeah, one of the jokes I used to tell 50 years ago when I was in my 20s and we were doing some shows and people would come up to me and buy something from me and they'd say, you know, I always told my wife if something happens to me, you know, get in touch with Bill Shea. And I'd always give an extra card in their pocket. And I'd say, you know what? If I can outlive half of you assholes, I'm going to have enough stuff for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, that's
what happens.
You know,
it is rewarding, though. You'll get a call from somebody that maybe you knew 30 years ago, and it's his widow. And, oh, Mr. Wittmann, we have your card here. And my husband told me many times that I should be contacted for disposal of things. And it kind of makes you feel good.
Absolutely, yeah. But there was a trust factor.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it was 30 or 40 years ago, and we haven't screwed it up in all that amount of time.
Yeah, without a doubt, this happened very recently, and what I wanted to do at this show was something a little bit different, and with my son Patrick being so active in the business, he said, Dad, let's knock it out of the park. So, and in the last 2 weeks he went into an A mode, and because it wasn't my intention to bring as much of this to the show, but he got to work, and you know, all of the steps in the buying selling process, you say to people when they sell you something, your job is over. Mine's just begun. Because there are so many steps to get it to market. So literally,
no one knows that better than I.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the idea that we were able to get a lot of these things prepared and priced.
But it's all worth it when you see it out there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It really makes you feel good. And another thing too, Bill presents things in a class manner. They're not all piled on top of each other, no explanation, no prices. I mean, you can see that the care that goes into it. And you see on the back wall, Bill's got an amazing amount of headgear there. And I'll give anybody $1,000 if they can find a fake there too, because I know Bill, and Bill's probably the foremost expert on hats. I really believe that. It seems like every time I send him one for an opinion, it's always fake.
You know, I really enjoy giving people good news.
Yeah, no, nobody likes good news.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes I feel like the veterinarian who has to tell the kid his puppy dog has died. But it's better that you know before you offer it out, and the embarrassment factor sets in. And we all have our areas of expertise, and we share that knowledge, and that makes it very, very worthwhile.
I mean, once in a while you ask me questions on daggers, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you do for me. And it's good that people in the same business, competitors, can work together.
Without a doubt.
And in a lot of industries, that's not the case.
You know, the bottom line, Tom, is there's enough stuff to go around.
There certainly
we can all share in the profit and the success.
Yeah.
And if we do it the other way and we cut each other's throats, it's like jackasses pulling at the same thing.
It's no good. And if it weren't for the many dealer friendships that you and I have developed over the years, we probably wouldn't have been able to acquire the knowledge, because you learn something from everybody.
No doubt about it.
Well, it's really good to see all this stuff. Where's Patrick?
Hold on. Patrick, come down here, please.
Here he is.
And most importantly,
how are you? This is Patrick Shea.
Yes, how are you?
Mr. Bill's son. I'm fine.
Good.
I hear and I know that you're doing a good job and maybe taking over after the old man.
Oh boy, we don't want to talk about that. Yeah. That's a long ways away.
Let's hope so.
Yes, sir.
Do you like the business? Do you like the hobby?
I like it very, very much. I enjoy the interactions with all the people that we get to meet.
Yeah.
I, of course, love the history. That's been inbred in me genetically. So this is it's a wonderful hobby that I have every intention of doing it for the rest of my life.
Well, if you do, I will guarantee you'll have a happy life.
Yes, sir.
Because I've had a happy life. I don't know how I deserve all this, but it's been a great life.
Well, I don't know if you can make that statement, Tom, but I certainly can. Yeah. I've had many aspects of my life, and I can honestly say that within this hobby business, I've made more friends than any other aspect of my life.
Yeah.
And whether it be education, other professions, you know, groups.
And what's interesting too, you say many friends. Well, some of these guys are PhDs, some of them are just bikers or just working guys, some of them are 16 years old, and some of them are 86 years old. And what I always say too is that you must be nice and pleasant to everyone, because you just never know. This is a fact. I had a guy yesterday that came by my table, and he's got an 8-year-old kid with him. And I was talking to him, and he says, yes, he says, my son collects Hitler Youth things. And I'm thinking, oh, isn't that nice? He's probably got a little badge or something like that. And he says, we've been looking at your display, and I'd like to buy my son that $6,500 Hitler Youth Leader dagger. And he did. I mean, it's amazing. Get a $6,500 Hitler Youth dagger presented to this. Now, you know, there's a collector that we're going to...
And I'm up for adoption, by the way.
Yeah.
Trying to go to that guy.
Yeah. But that's why I say you just never know. So it pays to be.
And we owe an allegiance to those younger collectors.
We absolutely do.
Because if we don't pay attention to them, then what's going to happen? And one of the things I check is I love demographics. So we have one of our programs sends out listings twice a week, and we have our updates on Monday morning and Thursday afternoon. Right. And we have 5,400 on that list. And so I always ask Mickey's wife, Patrick's wife, Mickey, who's my office manager, I'll say, how many new people signed up for that? And she gives me the list every week. And like one week it might be 29 people. And then, but how many unsubscribe? No longer want to get you. And there's usually 5 or 6. And now, where I'm not as in close contact with my customers as I used to be, because it's gotten bigger and the kids are doing more of it, I'll look at the 5 or 6 names. Invariably, I don't recognize any of them. So I go over to my staff and I'll say, because they can check it like that, and I'll say, have these people bought anything from us? And they'll look and they'll say, not a thing. So I don't feel like I'm losing anybody. And then sometimes you're putting the inexpensive items on, those iron crosses for $150, or those moon badges. Now, who's buying those? And invariably, it's the newer collectors. So if you give them an honest transaction, do it right, follow up, answer their questions, and
as years go by, the $150 it becomes $1,500, and then it's $15,000. That's where Patrick's going to make the money, because we're not going to be around. But at least Patrick can say, boy, the old man got us a lot of good customers.
Mr. Wittmann, he made it very easy for me to slide on and
slip right in.
Exactly.
Well, it's really good to talk to you guys. And,
thanks very much for stopping by, Tom.
Please keep on doing the good job, and I'm glad that Patrick's there, because we know you guys will go on.
Yes, sir. You as well. Thanks so much. All right.
Oh, we're looking at some more of Bill's things here, and these just fabulous Hitler coffee pots, teapots, sugar bowls, creamers, absolutely fantastic. And then also you may recognize these pieces. These are Meissen porcelain, the Red Dragon pattern, and this was the set that was used at the Eagle's Nest on top of the mountain. There's some Deutsche Reichsbahn things here, a gravy boat. See that DR on there? And some kind of, I guess they're cup holders. Also, I think they're DR, yeah. And then here's a champagne bucket in the Reichsbahn. There's lots of great things, and more trays down here, as well as a Hitler formal portrait in the original silver frame, I mean, and the original box. Those are always a great collectible. So there's a lot of things here that Bill Shea brought. I might just mention one other thing if we can walk down here a little bit. Look at this SS greatcoat, Obergruppenführer. Just fantastic. With the Germania cuff title on it. You see the general's lapels. I mean, you just don't see things like this. They're just ultra rare. Great stuff. Well, we came outside. You know, Wittmann has to have a cigar every 3 seconds, and we ran into a nice man here. He's got a terrific naval captain, I think it is.
That's right. That's right.
It's really great. Look at this bird. Oh, the bullion in it and all is really beautiful. And this officer obviously had a few medals too. Look at the loops, and then for the
cloth version medals, and the bullion stripes. Really nice. What can you tell us about it?
Well, the jacket is actually made in Hamburg. You can see the label here on it.
Let's see. Oh yeah, boy, that's great, isn't it? Hamburg, of course, was a big naval port.
Oh, so, sure, it sure was.
Yeah.
And yeah, before we leveled it, it sure was.
Yeah.
But
it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be. But yeah, you saw the French made a lot of these because the French had such great tailoring that they would tailor these things for the Germans. And it's very rare to find one that's from Hamburg, especially being a captain. And we look very forward to displaying this one. This is a very nice piece.
What's something like this worth roughly?
Well, you know, I paid $1,000 for it.
I think that's cheap.
I think that's very cheap.
Yeah.
I see them go probably up around 27 to 3.
Yeah, I was thinking about 2,500.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, you got a bargain on that one.
I sure did.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's what's so great about these big shows. You always find something.
And always.
If you look hard enough, you'll find something that you can afford too.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we're walking along here and came across Ray Zyla from Mohawk Arms. And look at this. It's just absolutely wonderful. All the handwork in this. It's a Bavarian regimental standard. Just really tremendous. Just beautiful. See, it comes from Prince Karl von Byron, which is Bavaria, and then the name of the regiment. See the Iron Cross on the bottom here too. It's just really terrific.
In the meantime, collectors will come to our building.
Well, collectors, we have something very special here that we would like to show you. You know, I know you like to see one-of-a-kind things, and this is actually stand art that comes from the Legion Condor. It was found by a veteran from the 16th Constabulary, I think you pronounce it. And what you'll see here, this is the reverse of the stand art, and below it is a picture of the Jingling Johnny with the stand art on it, period picture. And you can see that's the reverse of it. We'll take some close-ups of that. And this is really a rare, one-of-a-kind thing. Just imagine how rare this is. And we'll show you the obverse of it. There we go, with the Pour le Mérite. They got swastikas and iron crosses. Don't ask me why this swastika is reversed on the bottom. I don't know. Notice the LC here, Legion Condor. But what a fantastic thing. This just has turned up now. This is something new to the collecting community. So I hope you enjoyed seeing that, because things like that they're really inspiring for guys that are really advanced collectors. You look your whole life and never see anything like that, and here's the opportunity. I believe this is going to be in Herman Historica coming up, so anybody's interested in it, I think they want $100 for it, so plus commission. Where's my royalties? Well, we're just about getting ready to wrap up our video of the show, and we've come across one more item that I think you would like to see. This is a 100% original hollow gold Pour le Mérite, but with the oak leaves, which we almost never ever see, and the original ribbon. This is one of the rarest metals there are in the world. Its value is minimum of maybe $50,000, something like that. So if you can ever want to see the reverse of it too, and just a fantastic thing. Absolutely beautiful. The chances of ever seeing another one of those are,
Forget it. So I hope you all enjoyed our video this time. It may be a little bit long, but well, and I wish we could have even shown you more stuff. After all, there's so many things here, but you can only do so many things, and I like to talk to the people too. You can get a good feel of what's going on from what they have to say, and you can get to meet some of the viewers that way too. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next show, probably the Max show, I guess. But bye.